Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at something that might surprise some folks out there. The world of illegal cricket betting.
Hmm.
And we're not talking about, friendly wagers between friends watching the match.
Right.
We're talking about a massive underground industry with some pretty serious implications. And to give you an idea of the scale
Yeah.
that we're dealing with here, a recent Champions Trophy final in Dubai
Hmm.
saw an unbelievable 5,000 crore rupees wagered on the outcome of the match.
That's a 5 with 9 zeros after it.
It's a 5 with 9 zeros after it.
It's a staggering amount, and it really highlights the global reach of this illegal activity. But what's even more concerning is the involvement of organized crime syndicates,
Oh, wow.
with ties even reaching Dawood Ibrahim's D companies. So this isn't just about gambling. This is about serious criminal enterprise.
And speaking of seriousness, the Delhi police had a major crackdown during that same Champions Trophy final.
Right.
They arrested 5 major bookies, and the details of their operation are pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, take Parveen Kochar and Sanjay Kumar, for example. They were running their entire betting ring from a rented house,
Oh,
paying 35,000 rupees per month just for the space.
just for the space.
And the profits. They were making 40,000 rupees every single match day.
Wow, that is a lot of money changing hands.
It is.
Clearly, the potential for profit is a huge draw
Oh, yeah.
for those willing to risk getting involved.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about the money, is it?
Yeah,
The whole scene is filled with some pretty interesting characters.
absolutely. We have individuals like Chotu Bensal, who started in West Delhi, developed a betting app in Canada, and is now operating out of Dubai.
Wow.
It really highlights the international nature of this network.
And then there's Vinay,
Yeah.
originally from Motinagar, but now based in Dubai, who was reportedly feeding real-time updates straight from the stadium.
Right in the heart of the
So
action.
I'll talk about being in the heart of the action.
These cases really highlight the diverse range of individuals involved in this world, each playing their part in this intricate web of illegal betting.
And the names keep popping up. Bobby Golu, Nitin Jain, Jane Jitu.
Right.
It feels like we're getting a glimpse into this hidden world, almost like a scene from a movie.
It's a reminder that even seemingly ordinary events can be connected to larger, more complex networks. These individuals, while they might seem unremarkable,
Right.
are key players in a multi-crore industry.
And the way they operate is fascinating. For example, Manish Sahani ran his whole operation without a middleman handling everything himself.
That's right, and it speaks to the different approaches within this underground world.
Yeah.
Some, like Manish, prefer a more independent, streamlined approach. Others rely on complex networks and hierarchies, each with their own intricacies and challenges.
And then there's the whole technology angle. It's not just about backroom deals anymore.
Right.
These operations are using betting apps like SADA to make placing bets quick and easy, attracting a whole new generation of tech-savvy individuals.
And it raises important questions about the evolving nature of crime in the digital age. We have these talented developers, people like Manumatka Akshay Galat Nishurinku and Aman Rajput,
Wow.
who could be using their skills for good, but instead they're choosing to create tools that facilitate illegal activities.
It's a pretty sobering thought, and we're just getting started. We've barely scratched the surface of this complex world, but stay tuned because in the next part, we'll delve deeper into the methods and the serious consequences of this high-stakes world of illegal cricket betting.
It really is a complex issue, and that technology angle you mentioned.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of difficulty for authorities trying to keep up with all of this, you know?
Right.
The ease of access and the anonymity that these apps provide make it so challenging to track and control this illegal activity.
It almost sounds like trying to catch smoke. You shut down one app,
Exactly.
and another one just pops up in its place.
Right.
And, these developers behind them, they're
Yeah.
constantly finding new ways to stay one step ahead,
Yeah.
making the authorities' job even harder.
And the consequences of all this illegal betting, they extend far beyond just the financial aspect. This can fuel match fixing, lead to corruption within the sport, and even result in violence.
That's a really good point. I remember those huge match-fixing scandals that really shook the cricket world a while back.
Yeah.
Weren't those largely driven by these illegal betting syndicates who were manipulating players and officials for their own personal gain?
Absolutely. It becomes about much more than just the thrill of a gamble. The integrity of the sport itself is at stake. The stakes are so high and the potential damage is immense.
And what about the individual bettors themselves?
Yeah.
I imagine it's not just seasoned gamblers involved here.
Right.
With these apps being so easily accessible, It seems like they could be attracting a younger audience
Sure.
who might not fully grasp the risks involved.
That's a real concern. These apps, with their promises of easy money and the anonymity they offer, can be very enticing, especially for younger people. And it creates a very real risk of them falling into a cycle of debt and addiction.
Oh, wow.
It's a dark side of the digital age where technology is being used to prey on vulnerabilities and create new avenues for criminal activity.
Yeah, it's definitely a wake-up call for all the benefits technology brings. It also provides powerful tools for those with bad intentions.
Right.
It really underscores the need for a multifaceted approach to tackle this issue.
I agree. Stronger law enforcement is crucial, of course, but it can't be the only solution.
Right.
We need more awareness, particularly among young people, about the dangers of online gambling. Education is key here.
Yes, education is so important. We need to give people the knowledge and the critical thinking skills to spot these scams and make informed decisions.
Absolutely.
It's about being responsible digital citizens and ensuring that technology is used for good, not to exploit people.
It's a collective responsibility. Parents, educators, policymakers, tech companies, everyone has a role to play in creating a safer and more responsible digital world.
Absolutely. We can't just stand by and watch as technology runs unchecked. We need to take an active role in shaping its development and ensuring it's used to empower, not exploit. So for our listeners out there, what does this all mean for them?
It means being aware of the hidden dangers that lurk in the digital world. Be careful about the apps you use, be mindful of the information you share online, and be vigilant in protecting yourself and your loved ones from online scams and exploitation.
It's important to remember that the digital world isn't some lawless frontier.
Right.
There are rules, there are consequences, and there are people working hard to combat these criminal activities.
Exactly. And it's crucial to remember that technology is a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
It can be a powerful force for good, but it can also be used to cause harm.
right.
The choices we make ultimately determine which side wins.
So it all comes down to this battle between innovation and regulation. These tech-savvy criminals are constantly finding new ways to exploit the system while law enforcement is trying to keep up.
Yeah, it's a constant game of cat and mouse, and it's a concerning one, for sure. What worries me is that as technology keeps advancing, these illegal activities are only going to become even more sophisticated,
Right.
and harder to detect. Think about things like cryptocurrency transactions and encrypted communication, even artificial intelligence being used to place bets and manipulate odds.
It sounds like something out of a futuristic thriller.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, what can be done? Is it even possible to stay one step ahead of these digitally savvy criminals?
It's a massive challenge for sure, but it's not impossible, I don't think. It requires a joint effort from everyone involved. The governments, law enforcement agencies, tech companies, even the public. It's not just about catching the bad guys after they've done the deed. It's about preventing these activities from happening in the first place.
So we need to be more proactive. What would that look like in practice?
It's exactly. I think stricter regulations on betting apps, better monitoring of online platforms, and increased international cooperation to dismantle these cross-border criminal networks.
And of course, we can't forget about education. We need to make people more aware of the dangers lurking behind illegal betting and the allure of these online platforms. People need to understand the risks involved so they can make informed choices.
Absolutely. Education empowers individuals to make responsible decisions and safeguard themselves from exploitation. It's about cultivating a culture of digital literacy and critical thinking.
It also seems like we need to kind of change the narrative around this whole thing. Right now, there's this almost glamorous image surrounding these criminal masterminds.
Yeah.
They're portrayed as these, tech-savvy rebels outsmarting the system and living the high life. We need to peel back that facade and expose the truth, the devastating consequences, the human cost, and the damage that it inflicts on the sport itself.
It's about reminding everyone that illegal betting isn't a victimless crime. It fuels organized crime, it corrupts institutions, and leaves behind a trail of financial ruin and shattered lives.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they head back into the world, knowing what they now know about this hidden industry?
It's about recognizing that the digital world, despite all its wonders, has its dark corners and its hidden dangers. Be informed, be cautious, and make responsible choices. And remember, the fight against digital crime is a shared responsibility. We all have a role to play in creating a safer, more ethical, and more equitable digital landscape.
Well said. And with that, we'll leave you with one final thought. The next time you watch a cricket match, remember that there might be more happening beneath the surface than meets the eye. There's a whole world of intrigue, risk, and consequence that we've only just touched upon today. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there. Until next time, this has been The Deep Dive.